Good morning, everybody. Welcome. We have some very important information to share with you all this morning regarding a very important advocacy here in New Jersey. I have with me today Faith Rice, the Executive Director of the New Jersey Center for Tourette Syndrome. Welcome, Faith.
Thank you, Jack.
And with her is Hallie Hoffman, who is a constituent of the 16th District and an important member of the advocacy for Tourette Syndrome. Welcome, Hallie.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's an honor roll student at Princeton Day School. First thing I want to call to everybody's attention is we are going to introduce a resolution here in the legislature that calls on the state of New Jersey to recognize June 4th as Tourette Syndrome Awareness Day. So if you could please get out the word that we contact our legislators and ask them to support this important resolution. And it's something that's very, very, very important to me. Sometimes great things happen by accident. When I opened up my legislative office, at the corporate plaza at which it resides, right next door, is the New Jersey Center for Tourette Syndrome. So Faith and I constantly cross paths in the hallway. And she used every one of those opportunities to educate me on this very, very important advocacy. And I've become a huge fan. So with that, I'm very, very pleased to introduce Faith Rice, Executive Director of the New Jersey Center for Tourette Syndrome. Faith?
Jack, thank you. We very much appreciate the opportunity to be here today and to advocate for the 1 in 100 kids who show signs of Tourette syndrome, not only here in New Jersey, but obviously around the world. The Center for Tourette Syndrome is the very first center of excellence for Tourette syndrome in the nation. It was founded, it was established in 2004 with support from the state of New Jersey to provide services for families and kids living with Tourette syndrome, to do outreach, educational outreach to the school community, to doctors and clinicians across the state, to support collaborative research for Tourette syndrome, and create awareness, public awareness of the disorder. We provide those services. We lead the nation in providing those services, and I thank our legislators and I thank you all for your support in allowing us to do that. Let me start by telling you a little bit about Tourette syndrome. TS is an inherited neurological disorder characterized by childhood onset of uncontrollable vocal and physical tics. Tics can include head jerking, eye blinking, facial grimaces, jumping, spinning, sniffing, throat clearing, screeching, barking, and much more. Repeating one's own words, repeating the words of others, and the most infamous and problematic vocal tic is something called coprolalia, which is the involuntary utterance of curse words, ethnic and racial slurs, and that's also a part of Tourette syndrome. Although this cursing tic has been sensationalized by the media, it is present in only about 5% of the cases of Tourette syndrome. So let me share some facts about Tourette. It usually appears when a child is 6 or 7 years old. It affects every race and every ethnic group. Boys are affected 3 to 5 times more often than girls. It's a lifelong condition. The course is unknown. There is no cure, and there's no standard treatment protocol. The average time from onset to diagnosis is an excruciatingly long 7 years. So that means if a child begins to show symptoms at age 6, he may not get diagnosed until he's 13 or 14 years old. A very long period of time to not know what you're dealing with and not be able to support the child who's dealing with it. TS affects every aspect of a child's life: psychological, social, educational, and physical. And very important, approximately 80% of people, kids and people diagnosed with TS, also have one or more mental health disorders. Tourette's a lot more common than most people think. 1 in 100 kids, according to the CDC, 1 in 100 school-age children show signs of Tourette syndrome. So early diagnosis, treatment, and support are critical to ensure that individuals with TS are independent, contributing members of their communities. Tics are physically painful. We've had kids who have dislocated shoulders and had numerous surgeries as a result of the tics that they can't control. But the social isolation, the stigmatization, the bullying and the discrimination have a much greater impact on their lives and on society as a whole. So, the good news. New Jersey native and soccer player, soccer great, if I may, Tim Howard, was diagnosed with Tourette syndrome at the age of 10. He sits on our board of directors, and he has become an outspoken advocate for the Tourette syndrome community. I'm excited to announce that Tim has partnered with NJCTS to launch a long overdue worldwide movement to stamp out the stigma of TS and associated mental health disorders, to encourage kids facing the daily challenges of being different to stand with him and take pride in who they are, to step out from behind the shadow of their disability, and that's big, and to be everything they can be. The movement is called The Greats, and I think you can see it here, it's in front of me, and it's GREA, capital TS, because the TS community is leading the movement. Tim is asking all of us to stand with him in support of kids everywhere to break from the isolation of the disorder. The idea is simple, and Hallie can tell you more about this. You get a shirt, if I may, the Tim Howard shirt. You take a selfie. You tag it, Stand with the Greats, and your picture will appear along with Tim's on the Greats website. So although the movement has New Jersey roots, and it clearly does, it already has global reach, with pictures coming in from Turkey, Belgium, Canada, and across the United States. So next Monday, we'll be back here at the Statehouse in a photo booth outside the cafeteria to take pictures, hopefully, of legislators, staff, and others to add to the Global Greats site. We urge everyone to join the movement and stand with the Greats. Thank you. Most importantly, let me introduce Hallie Hoffman. She is, as Jack mentioned, she is an advocate for all people with Tourette syndrome and associated mental health disorders, and I think you'll enjoy hearing from her. Hallie?
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm so grateful and honored to be here today. I want to thank everyone here for their continued support for NJCTS and all of us with Tourette syndrome. My name is Hallie Hoffman. I'm 16 years old, and I've had Tourette syndrome since I was 6. In 7th grade, I decided that I wanted to become a youth advocate with the New Jersey Center for Tourette Syndrome. It had taken me years to get to the point where I could be open and honest about having Tourette, but by then I was determined to not only embrace having Tourette myself, but to also educate other people about this disorder and help kids like me to be proud of who they are. After getting a formal Tourette syndrome diagnosis, I then went through the youth advocate training with the NJCTS. This training was the first time I had ever been with a group of kids who all had Tourette. At this training, I learned more about Tourette syndrome and associated disorders, and I was given all the tools I needed to become a confident leader for the Tourette community and educate students, teachers, and doctors. Now I give talks to students of all ages in order to spread awareness about Tourette syndrome, sometimes to audiences of 500 or more kids at a time. Last year, I gave a talk to a 5th grade class at a South Jersey public school. One of the students in the class had Tourette syndrome and wasn't comfortable telling his peers, so his parents wanted a youth advocate to come in and teach the class about Tourette first. While I was expecting to see ignorance and judgment, as I had experienced in elementary school, instead I was met with curiosity and compassion. As young as these students were, they wanted to know what Tourette is, what it feels like, how it is passed down, and how it affects my life. Most importantly, they wanted to know how they could help if they come across someone with Tourette. At the end of my presentation, the student with Tourette felt comfortable enough to share this with his classmates, and they were all very kind and supportive of him. Having this student feel confident telling his friend about Tourette syndrome and seeing them respond so positively is exactly why these presentations are so important. The talks youth advocates give in schools teach students about Tourette syndrome and associated disorders from a place of knowledge rather than judgment and foster greater understanding and awareness. I've also been trained to present to doctors at hospital grand rounds, which are very important as well. By hearing our experiences with being diagnosed and living with Tourette syndrome, doctors can learn how to best guide families through this situation. The most life-changing experience NJCTS has given me is the Tim Howard Leadership Academy, a 4-day educational program, which I've had the opportunity to attend the past 2 summers. Prior to the academy, I had never met so many kids with Tourette, and I had never met any adults with it. In addition to learning about the biological and social aspects of Tourette syndrome and associated disorders, it was the first time that I felt completely comfortable being myself, because everyone there understands what it is like to live with Tourette. Besides all of the teenage participants with Tourette, all of the adult coaches who mentor us, as well as most of the presenters, such as neurologists and psychologists, have Tourette syndrome as well. I met so many incredible kids and adults with Tourette syndrome, all of whom have inspired me. As I prepare to attend the academy for the 3rd time this August, I also look forward to the time when I am old enough to attend the academy as a coach. Last year, I had the remarkable opportunity to meet Tim Howard in person. He is the epitome of empowerment, empathy, and resilience. His message about Tourette syndrome through the Academy and the Grace campaign is a uniquely important one, because not only is it about acceptance for Tourette syndrome, it is also about pride for Tourette syndrome, self-esteem, and embracing and overcoming challenges. NJCTS empowers everyone with Tourette to be proud and confident in themselves, and then to spread this message with other people, whether they are struggling with their own differences or simply want to be an ally. Being a youth advocate means advocating for yourself and others, and NJCTS guides and encourages us every step of the way. NJCTS has done so much for kids like me, giving us the knowledge and courage we need to accept and stand up for ourselves, and it continues to educate more and more people each day about Tourette syndrome. With each group of students, teachers, or doctors that attends an NJCTS presentation, Tourette gains awareness and acceptance, and this has a profound impact on the lives of everyone with Tourette syndrome. Thank you.
I couldn't help but notice Hallie's mom, who's in the audience today, Stephanie, beaming with pride as Hallie was delivering her remarks, because you have every reason, as does your husband. And Faith and I have the titles, but Hallie's a true champion and a great advocate. Really, congratulations.
Thank you.
Very, very impressive. 2 statistics really stick out from Faith's comments. I believe I have them correct. 1 in 100 children experience Tourette syndrome. You can go 6 years without it being diagnosed. If anything, those 2 statistics point toward the need for advocacy and awareness. And again, that's what today is all about, generating more awareness for Tourette syndrome, and what champions and patient advocates like Hallie are out there in the community doing. So the last thing I want to remind all of you is we are introducing a resolution here in the New Jersey Legislature calling on June 4th, the state of New Jersey, to recognize June 4th as Tourette Syndrome Awareness Day. And whatever help you can lend in getting the word out to support that, and asking folks to contact their legislators to support that wholeheartedly, which I expect based on the bipartisan support I've gotten as co-sponsor so far, I think we'll be in great shape. So with that, thank you all for your attendance today, and thank you for being part of this message that needs to get out in our community. Thank you again.